The fiscal and monetary policy is definitely an important portion of public policy. So looking at that, what you kind of want to know here is the different ideologies and how they would use government to regulate the marketplace and the role that that plays. So the questions that we have here: what is fiscal policy? How does the executive branch influence this? How does the legislative branch influence that? And then what is monetary policy, and what is the Federal Reserve Board, so the Fed we call it. So again, fiscal policy is the idea that deals with taxing, spending the money, and setting a budget. The executive branch, what they do with this fiscal policy, they prepare and propose a federal budget. Again, the legislative branch, however, has to approve of it. They will then sign that budget into law or veto it when it comes to spending money or taxing, borrowing different money. And this is kind of operated by the White House Office of Management and Budget. Again, positions there are appointed by the president, and they recommend that budget. So what does the legislative branch do? Again, they're passing that actual federal budget. They're acting on taxes. They're passing those acts on taxes. And then they have the Congressional Budget Office that does this research and advises and has these economic policies. So the legislative branch can look to this office to get expertise in what it's going to mean if they pass these taxes, if they pass this budget, how much is it going to cost the government, where the White House also has their own, when you look at the White House Office of Management and Budget, to do the same thing. So when we're looking at monetary policy then, and the Federal Reserve, what the monetary policy, again, they're regulating money supply in the United States. They're controlling inflation and deflation, adjusting interest rates to regulate that economy, and adjusting different bank requirements. So inflation occurs, again, when the price of goods and services rise, while deflation occurs when the price of goods and services, while deflation occurs when those prices decrease. The balance between the two economic conditions are very important, right? They're basically opposites of the same coin. They're delicate, and if they swing quickly, an economy can suffer. So what does the Federal Reserve do? So when the Federal Reserve increases possibly an interest rate, the banks have no choice but to increase their rates as well. So when banks increase their rates, fewer people want to borrow money because it's going to cost more, while that money accrues at a higher interest. So spending drops, prices drop, and inflation slows. If inflation's too high, it's not good for an economy. Inflation will always reduce the value of money, so the money isn't valued as high unless interest rates are higher. And the higher the inflation gets, the less chance that there is that savers will see any real return on their actual money. So they're not going to be wanting to save. So the Federal Reserve, why is it given independence? Removes politics. You don't want politics to affect the flow of money in the economy. Congress or President can remove themselves from this duty. Okay, so they don't have to worry about it. They can have the Federal Reserve worry about it. Relies on expertise, not politics, to make these decisions. And again, this will help it be more efficient. So a couple things that we're going to look at and I want you guys to do is to define Keynesian economics, okay, and what political party would favor that idea, and then define supply side economics and what political party would favor that theory. There's videos on Schoology to help guide you answer these questions.